Hey everyone, today we are going to be going over our seeds and our plans for our garden in the coming new year. I want to start by going over our seeds and where we get them from. So most of our seeds that we have come from either Migardner, Baker Creek, or Johnny Seeds. And that's a majority. Now we do have some seeds that we did get from like Walmart or from our local country farm and home store, which is where we get all of our feed for our animals because they do carry non-GMO seeds. And that is something that was super important to us. Now it might not be as important to you, but for us, wanting to grow everything as organically as possible, we also wanted to focus on completely non-GMO seeds. So all of the seeds that we grow are non-GMO. They have not been genetically modified to resist pesticides because we don't use pesticides. We don't necessarily need that. One new thing this year, however, is we did go ahead and order some seeds from Sustainable Seed Company. And these are also non-GMO seeds. So this was a sustainable survival pack of seeds that, if need be, will get us through the year. And this was a recommendation from Roots and Refuge, Jessica Sowards. So that was something we did add this year. Again, it gives you a list of all of the seeds in this pack. There are also non-hybrids in here, and there are 34 heirloom varieties. So we're super excited about this. A lot of our seeds are also heirloom varieties, which even though we haven't really dove into the practice of seed saving, having those heirloom varieties where we know exactly what's expected from each of the plants is a little bit important to us, and it's becoming more and more important to us. Looking towards next year, I went ahead and made a list of all of the different varieties of plants that we have for all of our seeds. So of course we have the survival seed kit that I showed you guys, all of the different varieties, but we also had some different varieties already. And those include kale varieties, carrot varieties, eggplant, cucumber, asparagus, bush beans, okra, squash, cabbage, beets, corn, peas, beans, tomatoes, peppers, onions, spinach, lettuces, summer crisp lettuce, some hybrid Chinese cabbages, and pak choi. Also cauliflower, radishes, Swiss chard, Brussels sprouts, kohlrabi, broccoli, leek, parsnip, peanuts, beets, pumpkins, watermelon, and cantaloupe on here. We also have some celery and some different herbs and flowers. If you guys watched a video here recently, I talked about looking for recommendations for flowers for our cut flower garden. I'm pretty excited. However, a lot of the seed companies were already sold out of a lot of the flowers that I really wanted to add to the garden. However, I've got a pretty good list to start with, so I'm going to go over it. I've got a big selection of sunflowers. I have Autumn Beauty sunflowers. I also have Velvet Queen, Mammoth, Black Russian, and then I also have just a regular mix of sunflower seeds from our garden this year. Along with that, some of the herbs that I have in here that I'll also be companion planting include coriander, borage, lemon bee balm, lovage, lemongrass, milkweed, marigold, chives, verbena, hyssop, snapdragon, California poppy, phlox, larkspur, dill, cilantro, oregano, English lavender, summer savory, calendula, parsley, black-eyed Susan, loofah, columbine, basil, St. John's wort, stevia, more lemon balm, rosemary, chamomile, zinnias, Florence fennel, curled parsley, sweet marjoram, spearmint, giant dahlia, carnation, amaranth, aster, echinacea, cumin, and anise. Along with this, some things I already have in the garden that are still growing. I have 2 varieties of mint. I have a lime mint and I also have a berries and cream mint. Out there I also have some sage and tarragon growing, as well as 2 small lavender plants. Not sure if they'll pull through all the way, but they're out there nonetheless, and they are perennials, so hopefully they come back in the spring. We are super excited about this year and what we are going to plant. Now, I went over the brief list of what we have growing. However, guys, look at all these different varieties. And I have 4 pages of these different varieties. So, and of course some of them are repeats, some of them we have lots of extras, but for right now, this is all of our seeds that we have. Now, there will be some things that are on this list that we will not plant this year, simply because they did not do as well as we hoped this past year. However, we're coming to the table this year with a new trick up our sleeve. Something that Josh was super excited about was getting the ebook, Carrots Love Tomatoes, Secrets of Companion Planting for Successful Gardening by Louise Riot. So this is the trick we have up our sleeve this year, and we will be focusing a lot on companion planting. What that means is, rather than having just 1 row of all kohlrabi, beets grow really well with kohlrabi. So we are going to plant them next to each other, just like it's suggested. We also are going to use our different herbs to companion plant and help resist against a lot of the pests that we were hit by this year. If you have not seen this in our previous videos, we had a lot of pest pressure this year. We had a lot of bean beetles, we had a lot of cabbage worms, we had a lot of aphids. We also had a lot of your regular green vegetable bug, also known as the stink bug or the squash bug. There's a lot of different names for this. How we tried to combat this is we did purchase some green lacewing eggs, as well as some praying mantis eggs. And they seemed to help a lot, but we feel like companion planting is really going to give us the next step into promoting the bugs to stay away from our garden. Now, a lot of people will suggest using diatomaceous earth or neem oil or making some sort of spray. We prefer to grow it as organically as possible. So if companion planting really, really works like it says it should, we're really excited about doing that versus putting something on the plants that might be hazardous to other bugs or to our other animals. So we're really, really looking for as organic, natural way as possible. So companion planting will hopefully work for us this year. We're kind of changing up the layout of our garden space. So initially last year, when we moved into the house, we took the sod up along the whole length of the house out front and made about a 1,300 or a 1,700 square foot garden out there. Now, for last winter and last fall, we only planted a portion of that. We did not amend the soil at all. Nothing did well. We got a little bit of kale, we got a little bit of broccoli, but overall we did not get much at all. Over the winter time, the other half of the garden, we ran the chickens and ducks on it, as well as we put down a bunch of wood chips. And we added some lime to the chickens' feet so that they could scratch it around, add in those nutrients back into the soil. So come spring, we had a lot better success in that section of the garden. Now, as summer came, that section of the garden started to die down, so we wanted to add another section. We also added a section in the front. So in the front, we added 50-foot rows that we planted our cucumbers in and our mint pan patty squash. Now, I don't know if you guys follow us on social media, but we experienced a lot of growth from those 2 rows. They went crazy. The squash was everywhere. I probably harvested at least 5 bushels of squash. Enough that we were selling it, we were eating it. I even made several batches of squash soup, and I have about 14 quarts of squash soup in our freezer. It was nuts. They went crazy. I also made a lot of jars of pickles, and we ate a lot of cucumbers. So those 2 rows did really well. However, moving forward, we had a lot of weed pressure over there. So we are not going to use that space again for growing vegetables like we did. However, the other section that we initially were using for our fall garden last year, this summer we extended the row from being 14 feet to 36 feet long. And what that did for us, we went ahead and added in some compost. We purchased a big load of compost and created 30-foot beds for that section. Now, this summer and fall, we have done a lot of planting in that section as we let the section that we had our spring and summer garden in rest. With that said, we're using our silage tarp this year, and we are going to really change up how we're going to have the garden. So we're still going to keep the section over here where we currently have our brassicas and our lettuces growing since it is fall. We're going to leave that as is, keep those 36-foot rows. We have about 12 to 14 rows over here. However, in the other section that had our spring and summer garden, we are going to go ahead and level it out, and we're actually going to put 5 boxes for some raised beds over there. This is where we're going to plant our squash, our pumpkins, our watermelon. We're also going to do a couple trellises for the peas and loofah and some different vinies like that, so that they're not on the ground but much rather raised up. So we're really hoping that that will do well for us. We also are adding in our flower garden in front of the house. So we have the chickens on one side and we will have the flower garden on the other. I'm so excited about this, to add some color and brightness in front of the house. Something that we have discussed about is adding in a rain barrel system. So one thing that our house doesn't have is gutters, and there is really no way to catch the rain right now that comes off when we do get it. We have been talking about putting in a rain barrel system so that we can water the garden and the flowers with the rain water versus using the well water that we also use, and then occasionally we do use the house water. We have lots of fun plans for next year. We're super excited about companion planting. Our plant room has sat vacant for a couple months now, but that will be getting reared up. We'll probably go through, do another video about how to sanitize your trays, and then our tray recommendations as well. So excited. Can't wait to share that with you guys. We are really hoping to have those boxes built before spring so that we can go ahead and put manure and some compost in it and really have that rich soil ready to go as soon as those baby plants are ready to be transplanted outside. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Even if you didn't, go hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate it. Feel free to leave any comments with questions or concerns, or just say, hey, that was great. We appreciate it. Share this video with your friends. Share it in your gardening group. Share it in your homesteading group. Share it so all your friends and family see. And if you aren't already, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when all of our other videos are going to be released. Thank you again, guys, for joining me today. We'll see you tomorrow.